The static in the walls. The old house hummed with a rhythm only I could discern, a low, persistent thrum that vibrated not through the floorboards, but directly behind my eardrums. It wasn't the settling of ancient timber or the groaning of pipes. This was an electrical current, raw and untamed, flowing through unseen conduits within the very fabric of the building. And it was singing to me. I'd bought the place for a steal, of course. Charming fixer-upper with character, the realtor had chirped, oblivious to the subtle buzz that had already begun to insinuate itself into my perception even during the viewing. She hadn't flinched when the old grandfather clock in the hall, unplugged and wound down for decades, suddenly chimed 13. She'd attributed it to a draft, a trick of the light. But I knew. Nights were the worst. The static would intensify, escalating from a whisper to a roar within the walls. It wasn't just auditory, it became tactile. My teeth ached with the resonance, my hair stood on end, and my skin prickled as if microscopic needles were dancing across its surface. Sometimes the dust motes in the moonbeams would vibrate, a silent, frantic jig in the air. One evening, I found myself tracing the source, my fingers dragging along the plaster, feeling the pulse of it. It was strongest in the master bedroom, specifically behind the antique armoire. I shoved the heavy piece of furniture aside, revealing a patch of wall that looked different. Not just old plaster, but something else, something subtly out of place. It had a faint sheen, an almost iridescent quality under the dim light. I touched it. A jolt, not of electricity, but of pure information surged through me. It wasn't data in the conventional sense. It was a waveform, a frequency, a thought, and it wasn't mine. Suddenly, the static wasn't just a hum, it was a chorus. Voices, thousands of them, compressed and distorted, all speaking at once, yet somehow perfectly intelligible. They spoke of patterns, of convergence, of resonance. They spoke of a grid, not on a map, but woven into the very fabric of reality. And they were speaking of feeding. I ripped my hand away, stumbling back. The wall seemed to shimmer, the iridescent patch pulsating with an inner light that was barely visible, yet blindingly bright to my amplified senses. The house wasn't just old, it was an antenna. And I, with my peculiar sensitivity, was its reluctant receiver. The static wasn't a malfunction, it was a signal. And whatever was broadcasting it, whatever was consuming the energy of this unique resonance, it was now aware of me. It had found its listener, and the chorus in the walls began to shift, to focus, to whisper a single, chilling name. Mine.